thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we are doing episode 3 of Shop My Shelves. If you don't know what Shop My Shelves is, I do have a little playlist. This is just basically where I'm doing different challenges to read some of those books that have just been sat on my TBR for ages that I probably wouldn't pick up otherwise. Episode 1 was a spinner wheel of my whole entire TBR. Episode 2 was taking part in Rainy's Readathon, which was just pure chaos. And episode 3, we're going to be doing another spinner wheel, but it's just of series continuations. And these are series that I physically own the next book in the series of, or I own them on Kindle. If I don't own the next book in a series, but I am in the middle of that series, I haven't actually put it onto this spinner wheel. So we've got 23 different series on this spinner wheel, which is nowhere near the amount of series that I'm actually in the middle of. I also haven't included any manga. I was tempted to, and maybe I will a little bit later, but for now I decided I didn't want to. I just want to focus on my novels. There are 2 series that I haven't put onto this that I do own. One of them is because it's a buddy read with Danny and we're not reading the second book until September, so I haven't included it on the spinner wheel. And then the other one is because as much as I own books 3 and 4 in the series, I don't own book 2, so again, that's not on this series spinner wheel. But I think that's enough of an intro. I hope you're all doing amazingly well, and yeah, we're just gonna set up this spinner wheel, which, oh man, I'm terrified. There are some series on here that I've been putting off for absolutely ages. Some I'm really excited to continue. I think at the minute my mood is wanting something a little bit more fun, light-hearted, maybe a dash of romance or something. Like a nice little palette cleanser would be really good. I guess we're gonna see what fate gives us though, because I'm not feeling too lucky today, so I guess we'll see. No. No. Okay. Let me get the books. Hang on. This is the Green Bone Saga series, and this is a series that I was debating, do I even put on this spinner wheel? Because I know for me to continue, I technically need to reread Jade City. It's been such a long time that rereading this would be really helpful. But I was like, you know what, we'll put it on there, because if this one comes up by some sort of chaos reason, what I will do is instead for episode 3, we've used the spinner wheel to decide, and I will actually read the whole series in one episode, because, you know, it's been languishing on my shelves for ages. I read this one, I think it was like 2022. When did this come out? I don't even know. So this one came out in 2017. No, wait. Paperback edition came out in 2018. I didn't read it as soon as that. I'm pretty sure I read this around the same time that I was reading Ninth Reign. I started loads and loads of series. I think that was like 2022. So I think it's been like 3 years. So I know I definitely need to reread this book. And then I was gifted these 2 last year by Uniquely DJ, which was absolutely lovely, so that I could actually like finish out the series. However, I've been constantly putting it off. So I was like, if it comes up, do I just do it? Do I just do a full series read? Otherwise, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to reread this one anyway. Then I will have to read Jade War, because it's the one that came up on the spinner wheel. And then probably what will happen is I will wait another like 3 years before I actually read Jade Legacy, because even if I absolutely love Jade War, it's going to take me forever to get around to it, because look at the size of this thing, okay? It's huge. So I said to myself, you know what, if this one comes up, if, you know, the gods give it to me, then we are just going to do a full series. Did not think it would come up. Like, genuinely, I did not think this would be the case. I don't think I'm mentally prepared. Look how many pages this is. Okay, in reality, could I just find a series recap, like a book recap for this one, and read it and do it that way? Yes, I could, but I don't know, because I know there's so much politics to this one. I know there was so much going into it, but also I'm like, is it gonna burn me out reading a whole series back to back? I haven't done that since I started this channel, so like at least 5 years. 5 years I have not done a series read where I just read them back to back. I used to all the time, but I've not done that in ages. Will this burn me out? I don't know. I don't know what to do, because at the end of the day, like, I know for me to fulfill this spinner wheel, I'm gonna have to at least read these 2, which at that point I might as well just read this one. It was the only one on the spinner wheel that I was going to do an entire series read for. Otherwise, I wasn't going to do that for any of the others. I was like, oh, you know what, I'll probably do maybe like 3 spins. I've got 2 weeks that I can film this video over. I've been really into doing long reading vlogs. So I'm like, I've got 2 weeks. I can really enjoy it. I've also got more time on my hands. The new position at work is so good. So I know I can get this done. Do I want to? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Okay, well, this is episode 3. I wasn't expecting this. I was honestly expecting to get more series off of my shelves and actually make a good dent. But you know what? This is one that has been lounging on my shelves for ages. And I did like this one. So I should give you a brief overview of what this book is about. What I really remember. I really don't remember much. All I know is that we are set in a world where there is Jade. Now, Jade can be used to give you different powers. It's slightly different for everyone. Some people get super fast, some people get super strong. But there are 2 families at war. It's kind of like mob bosses that are kind of against each other, that control Jade. They're always fighting and stuff. And then something happens in this book which sets off this mob war kind of thing going on. And that is all I remember. I do remember enjoying it. I went into this one a little bit hesitant because it's more like urban fantasy stuff. I wasn't sure if I'd like it, but I liked it enough to keep it on my shelves to then have these 2 books on my wish list. So there's something about it that's obviously keeping me wanting to read it, and I know lots of people really enjoyed these books, so I'm just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. We're going to read the entire Green Bone Saga in this video. I'm gonna let Rainy know because Rainy also wants to read this series. I don't think she's going to want to binge it in the space of 2 weeks, but I'm gonna let her know and just see if she would like to take part. Yeah, kind of pleased that Danny said we'll wait till September to read Bitter Twins because this is a lot of fantasy in one go. To be fair, I did want a fantasy. Like, as much as I wanted a fun romance one as a nice little palette cleanser, I then wanted a fantasy after that. I thought it would be really good to read, and instead they just went, okay girl, you're in your fantasy era again, have at it. Actually finish a series you started ages ago, so yeah. Okay, right, well, kind of crying on the inside here. Like, I wasn't mentally prepared for this. I put it in here as such an outlandish, oh, it's not gonna happen, and it happened, and that's why I didn't even mention it. I didn't even mention it on the spinner wheel to say there is one series in here that if it comes up we're doing a full series read, because I was like, the chances are it's 1 out of 23. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna be fine. Well, challenge accepted. Let's see if we can do this. Send me hopes and prayers and just, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. Maybe. feeling so much more confident to be able to tackle this whole series, and it is literally just because I have an amazing friend. Rainey has agreed to the utter madness of attempting to read this whole trilogy with me, and I am so grateful. Like, genuinely, get yourself a friend who you can do utter madness with, because it's so fun and I feel so ready and confident to deal with this series. So we worked out we've got 3 books, we've got 18 days to read it in because we both want to do Summerween, so we've got till the 13th of August, and it's 1,795 pages. But we worked out that's about 100 pages a day, so it's kind of doable. We both read a lot. That's both like a manageable amount for us, which is great. Hopefully. We'll see, because Rainey's got her own stuff going on. She'll have other reads that she needs to do. Rainey has actually read the first 2 books, Jade City and Jade War, but never actually finished out the series. So it's going to be a great chance for her to do that. And as you already know, I've only read Jade City, so I'm really excited for this. I'm so pleased that Rainey decided to join me. I mean, if she hadn't, that's absolutely fine. But I just... it's so nice to have friends. Like, it's the best. But right, okay, so Jade City, I've started reading it. I did my 100 pages for today. It's actually perfect because it brought us up to chapter 11. So page 100, chapter 11, and yeah, I'm liking this one. I forgot how much I actually liked this, like how interesting the world was. I think in my mind, I've had it that this was just like a 3-star read for such a long time in my brain that I was like, it's not really one I'm prioritizing. And I don't know why, because this is really interesting. I am enjoying the world building. I will say there is a little bit of info dumping. We've had a few moments where we just kind of like loaded this information, but also we need to get it. You know, it's kind of so I don't mind it too much. I'm just noticing that it's a little bit info heavy in certain places, but I am enjoying it. So in this world, we are following the main family of the Kaul, K-A-U-L. So I'm probably mispronouncing it, I apologize, but we're following this family, and they are kind of like a mob boss family. They control the Jade production. However, there is another mob like gang that goes against them, and they have the territory. This island that you've got is split into different territories and things. They are called the No Peak Clan, and then you have the Mountain. They all used to be together under one banner, all looking after the Jade production, working together. However, in this family, the grandfather, who has recently stepped down from his main position, he and his friend broke the clan in half, and they each took parts of their own territory, and it's been that way ever since. Now, there's been like a very uneasy treaty between the two of them. However, things are starting to get a lot more tense, a lot more little fights and things picking out, especially because there's been a change of power dynamics in the No Peak clan, which is the clan we're following. So what happened is the grandfather stepped down, and we have Lin Kaul, who's taken over. He was the one put as the pillar. The pillar is the top of this structure that they have within this mob boss. I'm going to call it a mob boss because it's easier in my brain on how to structure all of this. The mob boss, you have the pillar, then you have the weatherman, and then you have the... oh no, what's its name? It's Hilo. I know, I really like the character actually. The Horn. Okay, so the Horn. Now the Horn is Len's brother Hilo, and the weatherman is the previous weatherman from the time of his grandfather called Doro. He's not exactly liked. Now, from the Horn, they are in charge of like all of the people on the ground having a presence. They control fists, and the fists control fingers, and these are the different people that are on those streets. They're in the fights and stuff. They're the ones that are actually patrolling the presence and stuff, and the weatherman deals with the more political side of things. So we get perspectives of different people within the family. So we get Len, the pillar, we get the Horn, Hilo, we also get their sister, Shay, and she has just come back to the island after spending time away in another country, and you know, nobody liked her for it. Everyone resented her for doing that except for Len, who was just very supportive, but she took off all her jade. She didn't want anything to do with it. But she's come back. Her grandfather's ill, she's come back, but she refuses to use the fortune from the family and also refuses to put her jade back on. Now, jade is they're gems and they can enhance people's powers. So, well, enhance people, I should say. So you can have different things that come about from that. You've got strength, which makes you super strong. You've got lightness, making you really fast and swift on your feet. You've got steel, which is like almost basically like you become kind of indestructible to a point, and there's a few other things. Now, people are able to combine these and work them together, but generally speaking you have an affinity towards one or two more than the rest, but there's no saying what that will be. Like, just because you're say me, for example, I am a short skinny little girl, I could end up being really, really strong, whereas my partner, who's 6'2" and built like a house, could end up being, his affinities actually for lightness and not strength. Like, it's not determined on your body type, things like this. It's something else and they don't really know what. Now, they do have this academy to train people to become fingers and fists and stuff within the hierarchy of what's going on. So it's very ingrained within society. Now, you do have people that aren't involved at all, and they're kind of called lanterns. They're people that are, they don't use jade, they're normal people, but they have different businesses and stuff that pays fealty to the clans. It sounds quite complicated, but it's explained really well, which is why I can say, yes, there are moments of info dumping, but you kind of need it, because in this 100 pages, we have got to grips with who we're following, the different power dynamics. We've got an understanding of the difficulties between the Mountain Clan and No Peak Clan. Like, we've got all of that within 100 pages, enabling us to continue the rest of the book with the storyline, which I think is really effective. So I can deal with a little bit, and honestly I only noticed it properly like twice where I felt like there was heavy info dumping. Then that's not too bad. That's kind of the setup for the book. We are also following someone that the Calls kind of adopted into their family, and he's called Andon. And Andon, he's really lovely. He's a kid, he's in the academy, he's in his 8th year, so I think next year like he's going to be passing out and he'll become a part of the clan properly. He is pulled into the politics of what is going on in the Mountain Clan. He's kind of used as a pawn against the No Peak Clan, not willingly, but he just got, it was opportunity struck and they were able to do this, and that is where I'm up to. We've also learned about something called SN1, which is a chemical that's being made by other countries to give them the effects of jade, because for whatever reason jade can only really be used by these people from this island. Some of the people can't use jade at all, but generally speaking, family lines, they are able to use jade. Not everyone, but certain bloodlines on this island can use it. Sometimes you'll get people that aren't able to use jade and they call them stones something, where they just aren't able to access jade. Fortunately, it just happens. I don't know why, it just happens randomly. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We've got outside politics coming in from the other country where Shay was. We don't have loads of that at the minute. We're more focused on the politics between the Mountain Clan and the No Peak Clan, and we've just discovered the Mountain Clan's plot, or well, Andon was told it. And yeah, I really love it. I really enjoy the characters. I enjoy their difference. Honestly, probably my favorite is Hilo, because he is so passionate and fiery. His emotions are always close to the surface, and while yes, that makes him do some really stupid rash decisions, I think he's just someone that you can easily connect to because he's so emotional. Everything's on the surface. He's so honest and things. He can't keep things hidden. I am remembering certain things that happen later in this book. Like, I saw different characters and I'm like, oh wait, don't you do that thing? And isn't this what happens to you? And I'm remembering those things, but how we get there, I don't remember, because it's been such a long time since I read this. It's almost like my reading experience with Ninth Reign, where I was like, I'm remembering little bits here and there, but I'm not actually remembering things. So it's the exact same experience reading this, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm having so much fun, and yeah, this is great. I honestly was a little bit hesitant going into it because I was like, oh no, what if I don't like it and I've committed myself to these 3 books? What if I really don't enjoy it? But actually I am, and I think I'm enjoying it more upon reread. So that's great. I'm really looking forward to reading more of this. But yes, 100 pages a day. We'll try and do it that I do 3 updates per book. This could end up being quite a long video, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited for this one, especially because there was so much hype when these books were coming out. Since then, I haven't heard anyone really talking about it. Because there are some fantasy books that are constantly spoken about, but I feel like Jade City, like the Green Bone Saga, like it was spoken about a lot at the time they were being published, especially around like the 2nd and 3rd book. And then I've just heard nothing since then. I really can't wait to read this and see whether, you know, people should still be talking about this one. It should still be getting the hype. And I know it's difficult because there's always new books coming out, but I have to admit, I'm really enjoying reading some of the books that were published a few years ago, rather than all of the newer fantasy. I have to admit, new fantasy is not intriguing me as much. And maybe it's just the nostalgia for the time, I don't know. But I just feel like fantasy, some of it was just so much stronger back then. Whereas now, I don't know. And I mentioned this in another video, and a few of you did comment saying that you did feel the same way about newer fantasy. So I don't know, maybe we just need to do a resurgence for some of those ones that were really spoken about that have been put to the wayside, that maybe some people still haven't picked up. That was a weird little tangent. I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna go do some food. I did make some flapjacks the other day, and honestly, they were quite fun. Well, I found them super sweet. My partner did not, but he really enjoyed them. He ate like 4 in one go. Anyway, right, okay, I'm starving. I'll see you in a bit. A bit of a nightmare trying to get this update filmed. This is the only thing I need to film today, is just this one singular update. I managed to start chatting and didn't press record. I've had Hermione be on one. She's got the zoomies. She's racing around like an absolute loony, yelling at the top of her voice, which is absolutely fine, except it's so distracting. So I'm like, I had to chill her down. And then it's just, you know, when things are just, it's just not lining up, okay? It's just been a time, but I really need to get this done, and then I need to go get some food shopping, and then I need to go to work. So I need to get this done. Especially because where I've just left this book, oh my god, all the things that are happening, I'm just really enjoying it. I'm kind of surprised that when I first read this book, I just thought it was okay, because this is so interesting, it's so entertaining. I'm up to chapter 36, page 299, and the things that have just happened, I thought happened at the end of the book. So I don't really know where these last 200 pages are going to go. I feel like there is one thing I keep remembering that I think happens, but also I'm not 100% sure anymore, because I thought what happened now happened at the end, and I'm really enjoying it. Okay, I'm really invested to see where this is all going to go. I'm having such a good time with it. I think for me this is a really good blend of politics and also action. So we have the politics between the Mountain Clan and No Peak, and they're trying to kind of outmaneuver each other in these different ways, just along that line of harassment that's not quite full out war, but we're definitely getting there. And then you have those action moments where they're working through different people to harass different areas, and I'm really enjoyed it. Okay, I think it's really interesting. I feel like there isn't a book quite like this out there, and so it did make me wonder why I thought it was just okay when I first read it. And my partner actually asked me that, because I was talking to him about it, and he's like, well, why did you think it was just okay? And I think because at the time I was reading this, I was reading lots of different fantasy, and some of that fantasy was really good. So like Ninth Reign, which I already mentioned, and I did prefer Ninth Reign, and upon reread of Ninth Reign, I do prefer Ninth Reign. I still think there are moments in this book where there's a little bit too heavy-handed on the info dumping. Again, it's only really a page or two at a time, but it's enough that I'm like, it kind of takes me out just that little bit from the story. I understand why it's in there, because we are building this world. While it does feel kind of similar to our world, just with the twist of Jade and things like this, there are certain similarities in culture and stuff that I can kind of sort of link to other like our world cultures, but it's still got enough there that you're trying to understand everything, because you do have that plot line of the SN1, the drug that's being manufactured, you do have learning about Jade and the customs that go alongside it. Like there's all these different things that you're trying to learn. I do understand it. I don't mind it too much that it is a little bit info heavy in certain places, because, you know, first book in the series, it's got a lot of work to do, so I don't mind it. The base ingredients, like 2 rival gangs and things like this, it's nothing too new. I still think the way it's been done, the concept of this feels new, and it's high stakes. Like you cannot think that anyone's going to get through this safe because of the way it's just being done, and everything's so high stakes. Everyone is at risk. Like you do not know if your favorite characters are going to last throughout this series. I don't think they're going to. I'm really enjoying this. So yeah, this has been really pleasant to reread this book. I just, yeah, it's great. And I think I'm enjoying it even more because I'm so shocked that, wait a minute, this happened so much earlier on than what I thought it did. Where are we going to go from here? And it's great. Okay, I'm really enjoying this book. It's got the right pacing as well. It's not too fast paced that I can't keep up with what's going on, but it's also not uber slow either. So I just feel like this is it's just good, okay? It's well crafted. I like the world. Well, I'm gonna call it the magic system. I guess technically it is. It's an enhancement system using Jade, but I really enjoy that. I enjoy the politics, and I do enjoy those moments of action. I prefer politics over action, but also this has a good blend to it where it doesn't feel too heavy. Obviously that may change throughout the series, like literally one of the books is called Jade War, so I'm sure we're going to get a lot more, but I feel like the way it's written is done in a really good way. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I think it is absolutely amazing. And that is all I wanted to say. It took me so long to get this done, and it was literally 6 minutes. It's actually over that, but we had a police siren that I had to wait to finish because, you know, of course, it's just been the day for all those things to happen. It now looks like it's about to pour it down with rain, but I do need to go get some food shopping, so I guess we're gonna see if I get soaked through or not. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this book. I will probably just update you when I finish it, maybe when I've started Jade War, because I don't want this vlog to be like 2 hours long, so I'm trying to manage the length of my clips. I say that and I'm still talking, but yeah, I am having an amazing time, and it's just been great, especially being able to message Rainy and be like, oh my god, this happened, I thought it happened then, and just being able to have someone to talk to. I just think it really does make a difference with the reading experience. Like, it's still really good to read on your own, but it is so nice to be able to chat to people at the same time. So yeah, anyway, right, okay, I do need to go and get that food shopping and pray it doesn't rain. The autumn vibes. I know it's not autumn, okay? We're in the middle of summer still. It's the 1st of August today, but I'm channeling it. Like, I'm loving this. I'm so happy having the little pumpkins out and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy summer because it's so bright and sunny, and I enjoy that, but autumn weather is just the one. Like, oh, it's so nice. I don't know what it is about autumn. Like, I just prefer reading. It's just nice. I think because autumn feels cozy and comfortable. Winter is miserable. Winter's miserable. Spring, we're just waiting for summer to hit, and then summer I do enjoy, but give me 1 month and I'm done. Now, if I had like 6 months of autumn, I would be the happiest girlie in the world. Like, I love it. So yeah, autumn decorations out already. I was really gonna try and wait until September 1st, but I just couldn't anymore, so we've got them out. To be fair, it's not even anything drastic. It's just pumpkins, and then I've moved the ghosts around so they're more in view, because why not? Although I have been planning loads of content for Halloween. So October time, I've got the board done for Relax and Readathon in October, the Halloween version of it all. I'm I'm so excited. I've got so many things planned. I'm so excited, and I love it. Okay, I get so energized for reading. Although saying that, we do have some good reading updates. So I did finish Jade City and I've started Jade War, and I'm still really loving this. So the end of this book was so explosive. I found that where I left it off around that 300 page mark, I would say from page 300 to 400, there was a little bit of a lull. It was like where we'd left it, oh my god, so much had happened at the 300 page mark. Then things kind of like settled as we're dealing with the fallout of what happened, and there's so many political things that we needed to have page time with that. And then we get the last 100 pages and everything just ramps back up again, and I loved it. It was so good. I will say, I know I started out this video saying that Hilo is my favourite character, and while I still really like him because he is so emotional, he leads with his emotions, and that does lead him to do some things which maybe he shouldn't do, because, you know, he should really think about things through and think about them analytically rather than from an emotional response. But as someone that is very emotional myself, you know what, this is really quite dark. Let me see if I can lighten it a bit. Did that help? I don't know. But I'm also very emotional, and I know that I will react really quickly and stuff. So I guess I like Hilo because I can relate to him in that aspect. However, I think Andon is becoming my favourite character because he is just so lovely. Okay, he's such a nice character, and he has so many worries and concerns, and it's just... he's just lovely. Okay, he's the character that I want to come out safe. Throughout all of this, I want him to be safe. Do I think that's going to happen? No, but I love it. I'm so interested in his story arc, which, you know, the ending of this, oh, explosive. And yeah, it was just... oh, I can't believe I waited so long from finishing this book to continuing, because the minute I finished it, I was like, but I need to know what's going on. And so I did. I went straight into this. So I was doing 100 pages a day with Rainy, but Rainy wasn't able to keep up with that. She's got so much going. She's amazing. She always has so much going on. So she did say, look, sorry girl, but I can't do this. I will join you for book 3, because she's already read these first 2, so she's just going to do a recap, which is absolutely fine. It has meant that I've started reading a little bit over, well, I say that only yesterday. Instead of stopping at page 100, I went up to chapter 14, page 124, because I was just really in the mood for this. I'm really liking it. Like, this book takes place a year after this book finishes, and where it starts is exactly where it finishes here. So in the same place of this last chapter is the opening chapter of this, just a year later, and I really like that. I thought that was really well done. This is starting to expand more, so it's going not just conflict between the two clans that we have the focus of in here, but we're starting to expand to bigger disputes between other countries. And what, you know, to really show how much this is expanding, in this book we get a map of the continent. So we see where Cocoon is, which is where the island of everything's taking place in Jade City, and now we've got the rest of this because they're all starting to play a bigger factor in the book. We then get a more in-depth map of the island, the city of Janloon. Then we get an overview, so like we're getting 3 maps, which is more than what we had in the first book, and then we're also getting a character list breakdown. We've got the Green Bone clans, we've also got a few characters of what's happening in another country, so everything is just... it's showing how much this is expanding compared to Jade City, because we didn't have that. In this book we had at most, we did still have 2 maps. It shows how much I paid attention. But we had the island map, oh, upside down, and then we had the map of the city. But the fact that we've now got the world map in this and the character list, which we don't have in this one, is showing how it's expanding, and I'm really liking it. Things are happening. I'm so excited to see where this is going to go, because it's not going how I thought. Like, I've genuinely got no idea how this book is going to go. I can't wait. And I think that's what I'm loving so much, is because I don't know. I can't predict it. And I love that, because I feel like a lot of fantasy these days, well, I can predict, oh, okay, so you're going to do this. And I'm loving how this is not doing that. So yeah, I'm having such a good time. I'm really enjoying it, but I could waffle on for ages, but this is going to be a longer video. So I'm trying to keep these little updates shorter. I want to keep them under 10 minutes. So we'll see if it happens or not, but this is great. I can't believe book 1 done. We've started book 2. I will probably update you when I'm maybe another 300 page chunk. Yeah, probably around the 400 page mark is probably where I'll update again. But yeah, so far really liking this. Really excited to see how this is going to expand. We've already had the start of that, where we're seeing different countries, we're having our characters travel to different places, and we're starting to see how this conflict that was going on in the background between these 2 other countries is gonna potentially end up having an impact on Keikun and the Green Bones, and I can't wait to see where it's gonna go. So yeah, loving this. I can't wait to get straight back into it, but I have things I need to do first. I need to get ready for work and stuff, but I'm so excited. I'm so pleased. I was so nervous about this whole series and continuing on, so I'm actually going to use this for Rainy's series takedown, because there is a square for intimidating series, and this is a series that I was kind of putting off for a while, a little bit intimidated to actually continue, and I'm loving it so much. So I'm actually, once I finish Jade War, I'm going to put Jade War for an intimidating series, because Jade City was a reread, so I'm not going to count it. But anyway, right, I've got loads of things to do, so I will chat your ear off a little bit later with more updates about Jade War. But oh wait, I should say, I gave Jade City, I settled on a 4.25 because there were some of those slower moments. So I settled on a 4.25, and we'll see. Hopefully, I don't know, I feel like this could get like a 4.5. I'm really, really liking it, so this is really good. Oh, and I forgot to say, Rainy's series, this is a year-long bingo board that she created. Like, it's a challenge to help you get through your series and stuff, and I've been doing really, really well, although in July I didn't make any progress. It was the first month where I made no progress at all, but in August I should make 1 book progress, so 1 square, and then in September I've got plans for another square. So not that you need to know that for this video, but yeah, this was really good. I've really enjoyed this. It's helped keep me really accountable for my series this year. But okay, right, I said I wanted to keep it under 10 minutes, and we're at that mark, so I'm gonna go. Super quick update. I honestly just want to go have a shower and relax. I've not long finished, well, I've been at home for like an hour since finishing work, and I'm just feeling very like tired. I just want to get super comfy and relax, curl up with a blanket, do some food, and you know, just chill. I have actually still got a few pages left for the amount of pages I'm meant to be reading today. I'm up to chapter 40, page 387, so I've got like a tiny little bit left. I probably will read over it, to be quite honest, because I'm really enjoying this book. I was talking to Rainy about it because I've been keeping her updated with the different things that are going on, how I'm finding the book, etc., and she mentioned how she preferred the first book to this one. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm reading it in such close succession that I'm actually preferring this book, whether it's because, you know, I've got so engrossed with the different characters, or what I think it more is something, a realization I've come to as a reader through reading this book and thinking about other fantasy books that I've really enjoyed, and a lot of them are really political ones. And I think I am just very much a political fantasy reader. I really enjoy them. It's not something I'd want to read all the time, but I can really appreciate it. So I don't mind that this book, the action-wise, like, it's there, but it's smaller. There is just enough to keep the plot constantly moving. There are like little snippets of things that are happening that I'm like, oh my god, every so often. But it's not as grand scale action based as it was in that first book. Like, the first book was still had some slower moments, had politics and stuff, but this one is so much more of that side of things. But I'm enjoying it all the more for it. So I think I'm very much a political fantasy girly, which I'm, you know, it shouldn't surprise me actually, because some, like I say, some of my favourites do have quite a lot of politics in them, and I'm really enjoying this. So it is really interesting to see. This book does very much feel like a second book. This is very much setting up for the third book. In this one, I already mentioned how in the first book we focus more on just the island, whereas in this book we are expanding so much more. We are looking at different countries, we are looking at how the effects of war between other countries have an effect on Cancun, and the way that Cantonese people are treated. I'm probably butchering all the pronunciations, I do apologise, but on the way that they're treated in other countries and how that has an impact on different situations there. Like, all of these little moving pieces that make up this bigger war that's going on, and how the Green Bones are just kind of stuck in the middle of it all. I'm really, really enjoying. And then of course we get that interspace with little tidbits of different things that are happening with Hilo and Shay and Andon that I'm just like, oh, keep flicking these pages. I'm really enjoying this book. It could also be because I'm just so invested with these characters. I'm reading them in such quick succession that I've come to really be attached to these characters and really enjoy them and want to see all the different things that are going on, seeing the different things they're having to go up against and deal with in different ways. Like, I'm enjoying all of that so much. So it could be a mixture of I'm reading these books really close together, so it's up in my enjoyment, and also the fact that I really do enjoy a good political fantasy. I think I just enjoy seeing all of those puzzle pieces coming together, seeing how doing one thing here can have such spiderwebbing effects to all these other things, and I really love it. I think it's so smart, this is so well crafted, it's really thought out, and I'm just loving it. Okay, I was intimidated for such a long time, and I shouldn't be, because I'm flying through this. I am having such a good time with it. So I definitely want to read more this afternoon, but I want to go have a shower, freshen up a little bit, like I say, have some food, sort myself out, and then get to reading. I am planning to have quite a nice day off tomorrow. I would like to go get some yarn and stuff because I want to start knitting a scarf, so I would like to do that tomorrow, and then yeah, we'll get to reading. I'm so curious to see where this book is going. I don't know what's going on, but there have been so many like sirens since I've been trying to do this update, like loads. I'm really curious to see where this is going to end, what position our characters are going to be in, ready for that last book to wrap up everything. And yeah, while I can understand some criticisms, and I do think this book is very much like a middle book, like I think you'll find that sometimes when you've got a 3-book, like got a trilogy, or even, I don't know, longer, I guess, you're always going to have 1 or 2 books where their purpose is to build up. Sometimes it's at the start of the series, like the Faithful and Fallen series by John Gwynne. I think that first book, that is very much a setting the scene of the characters. The same with the Master of Sorrows. Again, those are the sort of books where the first book is all of that slow, building up, whereas I feel like the first book in this, it was good to introduce you to the world and to some of the politics between the clans, but this is that building block. This is the one that is that bridge to actually just bring in everything from that wider world, and without, like, it couldn't be done without this book. But I personally I'm loving it. But right, okay, I'm gonna go. I have all the things that I want to do, as I've said, and I'm pretty sure another siren's about to go off, so I'm gonna see you in a little bit. For this atrocious lighting. It is quite late at night, it's like gone 9 o'clock of an evening, and I would update tomorrow morning instead with the better lighting and everything. However, there is currently works going on, like they're having to do something with the water line or something, and it's like literally right outside. It is so noisy during the day, like in that little bit of time that I would film before going to work, that I can't film at all because there is just drilling sounds. So we're doing it of an evening instead. So terrible lighting. I'm also dressed and ready for gym because me and my partner are going to go to gym when he finishes work. He's finishing soon. Not the best look, not the best lighting, but we work with what we got. The good news is, absolutely loved Jade War, and I've started Jade Legacy, but let's get into it. So yesterday evening I finished Jade War, and my god, this was the expression I was doing a lot when I was reading the book. Like I had my hand over my mouth and I was just like yeah, a lot. Because there was so much happening. There was a couple of things happening and I'm just like, excuse me, the stress levels are getting a little bit too high. Thank you very much. I am genuinely worried, and some of the things that happened like are just heartbreaking. This book got me close to tears, like close to tears. I've already cried once at a book this year. I don't tend to cry a lot at books, but this book, I was welling up. I didn't actually cry, but I was welling up. I just Man, this book, the emotions. There was a couple things that I can say, okay, we probably could have deleted this paragraph. We could have edited out like this little chunk. But overall, this book was so good. It was so impactful. I really enjoyed it. I just thought everything it was doing was so well done, and I mean, I've already spoken about how I really like the politics of all of this, and the emotions were just there. There were so many points throughout this book where I was just like, what's going on? Why? Stop doing this. Stop hurting my characters. Can we just not? I loved it. And then today, while I was at work, I started reading Jade Legacy. I'm still meant to be doing the 100 pages. Like, I put in all the tabs to show like 100 pages per day. I went over that. I'm up to chapter 12, page 126, because I could just not stop at that 100 page mark. I was like, excuse me, no way am I leaving it here, because what do you mean? Again, like, everything is just starting off so good. The emotions, the decisions that characters are making, like Hilo, oh my god, I can't believe the journey I've gone on with this character. He started out as my favourite character in the first book. Then towards the end, I was like, you know what, I'm not sure, I still really like him, I still love him, he's passionate, he's emotional and stuff, but I think Andon's my favourite. The second book kind of solidified that Andon is my favourite character. He's just a cinnamon roll, absolutely love him. And Hilo makes so many dumb choices because he's so emotional, because he takes so many things personally, and I do feel like I'm being called out, because as I've already mentioned in this video, I am an extremely emotional person, so, you know, yeah. Now, some of his decisions, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, just stop it. And I get it. At the same time, I get it, because the thing that happened, like, the trust is gone. Like, I fully understand, and like that level of stress and all of that, and not being able to deal with it properly and stuff. But at the same time, come on, like, why? And but where we just left it with Hilo, it kind of gives me a little bit of hope, which is really nice, and I'm really hoping things work out, because I need that to work out. But the thing is I'm just in panic mode every time I'm reading this book, because I'm just like, I can't trust that anyone is going to get through this safe. Like, thing is, it's not just the war that's going on. So they're calling it the slow war between the other countries, and we're seeing how that impacts Keikun. And then of course you have the internal war between the Mountain Clan and No Peak Clan. Now I should say, actually, this book, Jade War, spanned like 3 years, and currently No Peak and Mountain Clan have been at war for 6 years at this point. So you've seen a span of time go through. You have seen characters grow and change and die, and just, yeah, there's been so much that has happened, and I am so invested. I'm so invested. I am loving this so much. I can't wait. Also, I do love how we've had the continuity of Frondalee doing it, where first book ended in a setting and the second book started in that exact same setting, following the same character, just a year apart. And we've done the same thing with this. We ended in one place at the end of the second book with a certain character, and we're starting in that same place with the same character, just with time that has passed. And I just think that's amazing. It's like the little details like that that I think makes this series so good, because Frondalee has covered everything. It's covered every little detail of this book, down to the perspectives and who continues on with the story and things like that. I just think it's so well done. I should say I have given Jade War a 4.5. I think it misses off just because there were a few things where I'm like, okay, that could have been edited out and it would have had no impact on the story. But apart from those couple of things, I think this was a really good book. So yeah, I'm excited. So far it's just been going up, so could this one get a 4.75 or even a 5-star? I guess we're gonna find out, but I'm invested. I am loving it. Honestly, Shop My Shelves Will did me dirty, but it also did me perfectly for this series, because what do you mean I had to read 3 books inside a short amount of time? Well, short-ish. I had like 2 weeks for this video. What do you mean I had to do that? I've never done that. In the whole time I've been here on YouTube, I've never done a whole series inside one video, I don't think. Watch me have to go check that, but no, genuinely I don't think I have. And now I've done it. And this, I love it. I love it so much. I think this series is going to be one of my favourite fantasy series because I am so invested in the world that's been done, the politics that have been, like, Frondalee has thought of everything. Every little thing has been thought of, and I cannot fault it for that. Like, from things like the healthcare industry, like we're getting focus on that in here, to the war, to how that affects all the little things, to bigger things, to things like how it enables, like, war is a really good chance for the black market to go up, for thieving and things like this to skyrocket because they're busy fighting each other, they're not policing things as much. Like, it's thought of everything, every little thing. And yes, it does make that intricate and makes it quite political heavy and stuff, but it works. It really, really works. And the emotions are still there. I'm still so invested. It's not like we've got a political fantasy and I'm not emotionally invested. I am so invested. So yeah, I'm loving this. This is amazing. I really want to get straight into reading more, but I've got gym. I've also got another book that I'm reading because over on Discord, I've got a buddy read going on with a few people for a different book. So I'm going to be starting that. That's going to be my evening read. So I'm going to do that and I'll get back to this one tomorrow during the day. But I love it. I think this series is worth it, and I completely understand why there was so much hype when this, like, third book and that was coming out, but I don't understand why the hype has dropped off. Some authors stay really high, like your Brandon Sanderson books and V. Schwab books and things like that. Like, the hype stays high. I don't understand why the same hasn't happened for the Green Bone Saga, because it is definitely worth it. But right, okay, I've gone over my 5-minute maximum that I was giving myself for these different updates. I've doubled that, so we'll see if Ed and me can cut out any unnecessary waffle. But yeah, if you're still here at this point in the video, thank you so much for your dedication, your support. It means so freaking much, and hopefully I've convinced you to pick up this series if you haven't already, unless of course you don't like fantasy, in which case fair. But anyway, right, okay, my partner should be along soon, so I will catch up with you in a few days' time. Do you hear my knee click? That was pretty, that was my knee. Conflicted about this book. On one hand, I really love what's being done. I love the scope and I think the world building has been immaculate. On the other hand, I'm no longer emotionally invested how I was. And so this is not reaching that 4.75 5-star potential. In fact, this has actually dropped down to a 4-star, which is a shame because it makes it the weakest book out of the trilogy for me. And I know what it is, so like I've pinpointed it. It is the time jumps. There has been such a massive scope of time in this book. In the first book, it was 3 years. In the second book, around 3 years. In this book, we're looking at like 15 to 16 years that's passing within these pages, which means every time there is something big and dramatic happening, the next page, we have jumped forward in time, and sometimes it can be a massive gap, like 5 years later. And sometimes it's a bit smaller, like 6 months, but there is always a gap, which has meant that I don't feel emotionally invested in this book anymore, because when something high impact happens, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see the fallout of what's gonna happen. I don't get it. I don't get it, because instead I get a 5 years later and they'll comment on it, on the big thing that happened, but you're not seeing the immediate impact and fallout of the big thing that happened. And it is such a shame. Honestly, I don't even know how I'd rewrite this, because what is being done and the scope of time and, you know, seeing the different characters grow and all of that is done well. I also wish it was a shorter amount of time, but then we wouldn't get all the other things. Like, in a way, I kind of wish this was 2 books. I wish we had less of the time jumps, but just had an extra book to then take our time so that we didn't have all those big time jumps. Like, I would have been fine with that. I think the scope of this one, what it's trying to do, I love the different avenues it's exploring, but I don't like how it's stringing everything together because it's just jumping around too much. I've lost the emotional investment in this book, which is so frustrating because there have been so many points where it's really high stakes, really high tension, things that would really get me emotional and going, but then jumps in time so I don't feel that emotional connection anymore. So like, something just happened, I'm up to chapter 50, page 550, and something just happened where I left it, and I'm like, oh, this is good, high stakes, high tension, and yet part of me is going, when's the jump forward happening? When is it happening? And that's what's frustrating me, because it means that I'm holding myself at reserve. So something that I should have been really, really emotionally invested in, I'm also a little bit reserved because I haven't felt that connection. I think we've gone too far out. The timeline is too large for me to feel connected to what is happening. And so because I've lost that emotional investment, while I can go from a critical point of view, this is so well crafted, emotionally I can't get invested. And for me, realize like that's a big part of me enjoying what I'm reading. Like, the ratings that I give, like, part of it is the emotional content, and while it has got high stakes and emotion and things like that in this book, I can't connect to it as much as I would and have done with the past books because there's too much jumping around with the time frame. So yeah, it sucks. I'm still liking it. I'm really hoping that these last bit, like, if it would just stick to one time frame and we don't get a jump forward again, I'll be fine. I'll be happy with it. I'd probably give it like maybe a 4.25. If we get another jump forward again at this point, I think I'll just be like, look, this is a 4-star read, maybe even a 3.75, because I just do not enjoy all of those time jumps. And while yes, they were necessary to see certain characters grow and like the direction that it's all moving in, at the same time it has pulled away from my enjoyment and investment in the book, which, oh, it's such a shame. I'm still very pleased that I read this for this challenge, that I'll do my full thoughts when we actually wrap up this book, but like, I'm still very pleased that I have finished out this series. It's been really enjoyable to read a series back to back like this. It has just felt like one massive book, but I do wish I had another book. I wish this had just been split. Those time jumps weren't necessary if we had a 4-book series, and then it would be great. Like, I know the exact point where it could have been stopped for the 3rd book to then start the 4th book. Like, it would have been perfect. Instead of that 5-year jump, it's the 5-year jump. That's when I realized how much, like, I was like, something about this book is not pulling me in, and it was that point there that I was like, see, this is what's bothering me about this book. If we had done, instead of a 5-year jump, if you just stopped the book there and then did it like a year later, like we've been doing with all the other books, it's been like a year later, I think, between the books finishing, perfect, would have been great, and then we could have had that continuation. I do understand why it hasn't been done that way, but also I just feel like I would have preferred it so much more. But anyway, my camera battery's flashing at me. I'm still conflicted, and I can keep talking about it, but it's not changing the fact that I'm just conflicted about it. And hopefully this last little bit will cement my feelings one way or the other, and I can come in the next update with final thoughts. I am hoping to finish this out tomorrow, so fingers crossed I should be finishing out this video tomorrow. It's been like 2 weeks and I have really enjoyed my time. Anyway, right, I've got to go. My battery's flashing at me. I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Maybe not, because I'm out with dinner with my partner tomorrow after work, so we'll see. I'll see you at some point. I'm going to be finishing this soon. I am really happy with it, but I'm also really scared that I'm going to get another time jump forward, and I know that's just going to be like, ugh, nail in the coffin for what I wanted from this book. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I cried so much. Like, it's a good thing I work alone because there was just tears, floods of tears running down my face yesterday at work while I was finishing this book. I could not believe it. I was so distraught. Oh my god. So I'm giving this a 4.5. It doesn't get that full 5-star. Normally, like, if a book can really make me cry and I'm really invested, it definitely gets a high star rating from me. It misses a little bit on that 4.75 to 5-star because of that big jump that I was talking about in the last update. While I think that everything came together really well, I'm actually really lucky because I was talking to Sam after the live show for Battle of the Booktuber. I was messaging her to say that I'm almost finished with this book, but that I've really struggled with some of those time jumps and stuff, and she was like, I get it, but you need to stick with it. It is worth it. And it was. Everything came together so well. It was done in a way where you could see everything, every little decision being done wrapped up in this book, and it really did just make it worth it. Like, the craftsmanship of this book was absolutely phenomenal. I cannot get over how well thought out this world is. All those little politics and things that were done, like, it just, oh god, it was fantastic to have it be brought together in such an expert way. I mean, gut-wrenching, heartbreaking way, but so well done. And while yes, where I just left it off, like in the last update, I was like, something really emotional happened, however, I'm not fully invested in it because I just think we're gonna time jump again, so I'm not gonna be able to sit with it in my feels. I didn't need to worry about that because there was a few chapters afterwards where we did actually sit with the events that happened, and it did almost make me cry. I think if I hadn't had that break to update at that time, I probably would have cried at that point, but then I sobbed my heart out a little bit later anyway, so, you know, it was, oh god, this book, the emotions, the absolute just emotions that you go through. There are some really hard-hitting scenes in here. There are some slow moments. I still stand by what I say, that I wish we had 2 600-page books instead of this one 700-page, because I do think if we had had a book end at that big devastating moment, and then instead of getting that 5-year jump, we had another 600-page book where maybe it jumped a year, but then we could see all of the other things in between, I feel like I would have preferred it. I would have given it that 4.75 to 5 stars. We didn't get that. Instead, it was all put into the one book, and I can understand it. I just wish we did have that extra little bit. But overall, this has been a phenomenal reading experience. I would say the series as a whole is a 4.5 star. I absolutely loved it. I would truly recommend it to people that are looking for a fantasy that's a little bit different. You've got politics, you've got high stake moments, there is drama and tension and emotional moments, but there's also slower moments where you really explore the world, you really follow through every little impact a decision has, and it is so well done. I'm so impressed. I was a little bit worried, as you know, going into this. One, because hello, the one series out of 23 possible series to continue, we get the one where I thought to myself I would read this whole series in one go for one video. I can't believe it happened, but I think that worked perfectly. I would actually recommend reading these books closer together because of all those little elements that go into this series. I really think it makes a difference being able to read it all back to back, so you can really see the impact of all of those smaller things happening that you may forget between books, that then has such a big impact on how it all comes together. So I do think reading it closer together is better. But I was also a little bit terrified because I'm reading 3 fantasy books back to back, 3 chunky fantasy books, and I was a little bit worried that what if I get burnt out? Because I've only just started getting back into fantasy. I really didn't want to burn myself out. I didn't need to worry. I really didn't need to worry. I think because this is so different, I haven't read anything like it before. And so for myself, like, I'm not getting burnt out, and I'm still wanting to read more fantasy books because it was so different. Like, I really do think this book needs more hype, like, spoken about more. I know when the books are like, as I mentioned, like, these books were coming out, that there was a lot of hype for it, but I feel like it's died off, and it shouldn't, because it is so unique and well thought out and expertly done that it needs to be talked about more. So I would love to see this more on people's like top fantasy book recommendations and things, because this really is truly amazing. So I would love to see more people do that. So if you've read this series, please let me know what you thought of it, or if you're now interested in reading this series, I'd be really intrigued. But yeah, I just think this was absolutely brilliant. I didn't need to worry at all. I was scared of this series. I was intimidated. It's worked well for Rainy's reading challenge. We definitely fulfilled that square, and honestly I'm impressed that I read a whole series in 2 weeks. I definitely want to do more of this because I really enjoyed it, and there are definitely a few series where I think actually I could reread that first book and then continue on and just read all of it in one go, because it was so satisfying to do. It just felt like I was reading one massive book and I was just fully immersed in the story, and I didn't need a break. I did have a couple of things in the background here and there that broke up my reading a little bit, but overall, like, it was something that I was happy to come back to every single day without fail. Even with some of those slower moments, I was still fully invested in the story. I still really wanted to know what was going on. I was still thinking about it. Like, this series is going to stay with me. This is going to be a series that I am constantly thinking about. So I just, I loved it. Honestly, Shop My Shelves has been doing work. Like, I'm pretty impressed. I was thinking about it last night and I'm like, this is the 3rd episode, and in every single episode there has been at least one book that I would have happily put off reading for another year, maybe 2 or 3 years, and would never have got round to reading it. And every single one has been books that I've really enjoyed. So Shop My Shelves is doing it, okay? It is doing the damn job, which is to read the books that have been sat on my TBR for a while. The books that I keep putting off for whatever reason and actively going out and reading them. The universe is doing it, okay? It's giving me those books that they're like, okay, well, you're not going to read this for 2 years? No, now, read it now. And enjoy it now. Stop putting it off, and, it's working. I've had such a good time. Genuinely, I think Shop My Shelves so far is like my favourite episode series to film, because I really am reading some of those books that have been on my TBR for a while, that I've been putting off for a while, and I'm now just fully immersed, and oh, it's so worth it. Genuinely, I'm really happy with this, and just thank you so much to Marion for coming up with this idea, because wow, like, it was brilliant and I've enjoyed it so much and I cannot wait to continue. If you've got any other challenge ideas that you would like to see, then let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this episode 3, fantastic. I'm honestly surprised we got through all 3 books, almost 1800 pages, in quicker time. I actually did it with 2 days to spare. I'm pretty impressed with myself, but yeah, we did it. Oh god, I loved it. I loved my journey with this. I think they're amazing. The 2nd book of the year to make me cry, and fantastic. Just genuinely fantastic. So thank you so much for watching me go on this Green Bone Saga journey, and for sticking with this video to the end if you've made it. I know this is a bit of a longer one. I think all of my videos are a bit of a longer one, so I don't know why I always say that, but yeah, thank you so much for sticking with it. If you don't have anything to say though, but you want to let me know that you were here, then leave anything green in the comments below. And oh, actually, I do have a question for you. So I was thinking I want to use this series for a prompt on Our Fantasy. I really want to be like, yes, I read this series, I want to talk about it, I want all the gold stars for finishing out a series that scared me for so long. Unnecessarily scared me, but that's not the point. But I was thinking, would this work for taking down a system? Because technically they are. We've got the old way, the traditionalist green bones, and that system's kind of being broken down with the times. We're seeing how it's changing over time, and there are certain things that they are ripping down. You'll have to let me know if you think it could work. I feel like it's maybe a little bit of a stretch. If not, I will use it for a different prompt on this board. Like, I definitely want to use this series for something on this board, because it really was such an accomplishment to read this, enjoy it. I'm definitely going to reread this series at some point. Like I say, it's going to stay with me for a while. But yeah, let me know if you think it would work for that prompt. Okay, I'm going to let you go. So again, thank you so much for all of your support, for choosing to continue watching and commenting on my videos. Like, it means so much. And thank you to all of my Patreons. Like, you get an extra special thank you as always, because truly your support over there means so much. So thank you for that. That's it. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing and commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links, anyone I've mentioned, Discord, Patreon, all of the things will be linked below for you. And I will of course catch you in the very next video.